Ignorance does not mean the lack of the right kind of information or the right kind of intellect. It is ignorance of the presence and possibility of transcendence within this realm and within human life. It is a lack of an inner knowing, an inner connection to greater reality. And it is said to be an illness of the heart. In fact, there are several illnesses of the heart. These have been called as ignorance, forgetfulness, blindness, and contamination. It is said that people live within a darkness of ignorance. And yet, when we don't know, then we are content with the darkness. We become naturalized by the darkness and assume that it is our natural or legitimate abode. We may even think that the darkness is beautiful, as we have nothing to compare it against. This state of the human condition was described most famously by Plato's allegory of the cave. Those within the cave, attuned to the shadows upon the wall, are not receptive to the influences that exist beyond this confined realm. In other words, a state of ignorance blocks out the capacity to receive impulses or influences from beyond our enclosure, from beyond our current reality construct or perceptual paradigm. After ignorance, the next illness of the heart is forgetfulness. The human heart has forgotten how to be in a state of connection, a transcendental connection with a source greater than the human being, and even beyond the realm of an individual's current reality. The human being lives a life in amnesia, not remembering from where it came to where it goes, nor to what is ultimately related to beyond its present incarnation. In this state of forgetfulness, it is said that the heart becomes hard. Lacking this transcendental or spiritual or metaphysical connection, the receptive capacities of the human heart harden. The next illness of the heart is blindness. When the human heart is in a state of hardness, it becomes blind, that is, incapable of distinguishing between those influences or impacts beneficial to itself and those that are detrimental. In simpler terms, a person is unable to distinguish between what is good and what is evil. And so the person is unable to recognize or perceive the presence and or action of transcendental impulses. In this condition, an individual lacks a necessary degree of inner discernment. In the words of the Christ, "He who has eyes to see, let him see, and he who has ears to hear, let him hear." The final illness of the heart of which we speak here is contamination. For through the condition of blindness, an individual is open and vulnerable to contamination from influences and impacts that are detrimental to their continued development, specifically to their inner development. An individual lacks the filters to keep out negative impulses or those dark energies and dense vibrations that keeps them in a lower frequency and dulls their senses, their capacities. It is within this state that many people now find themselves energetically entangled within the denser influences of the physical world. It is time now to heal the illnesses of the heart. It is time to follow the straight path within. For it is the straight path within that shall take us through the middle of the paradox without.